This is page 69 in your notes. This is working on Geometry 1. I really want you to study this. This will be on your test, so want to make sure you understand what to do. This will be question 2 on your test. The area of a triangle is 35 centimeters squared. One dimension is 7 centimeters. What is the other dimension? And a lot of times when I give this question to kids, they're confused. They want to know what the word dimension is. It's kind of confusing to them. So let's talk about this problem. They're giving you the area of the triangle. They're saying one dimension 7 centimeters. So when we think about a triangle, our dimensions are normally base times height. And then dividing it by 2 to get the area. So one dimension 7, this is like saying this could be your base. And then they already gave you the area. They're saying it's 35. So the other dimension that we're looking for would be the height. That'd be like what we're looking for. So how do I solve this? Well, let's use our triangle formula. Area of a triangle equals base times height divided by 2. And so you can use your calculator and you can just start guessing to try to figure out, or you can plug in these numbers to the formula. Do we know the area? Do we know the base or the height? We know we're going to be dividing by 2. So we know the area is 35, so since that's area on the left side, I would put area over here. Do we know one dimension, the base, 7, and then we're looking for the height. So this is where you're looking for the height. This is where some people want to put a number in here, and they like to just start trying what number do I try to put in here? 7 times, and you could just start trying numbers and dividing by 2 to see which one works. The other thing that you can do to figure this out is you could try to solve for height. Some people see it and they just start putting numbers in to try. Some people don't see it. And so how do you solve this? Well, you could draw a line down the equal sign and try to get height by itself. So at the very end you're going to divide by 2. So what if instead of dividing by 2 we multiply by 2 here? Well, multiplying by 2 is going to cancel this. If you multiply by 2 on the right side, then you got to take 35 and multiply it by 2 on the left side, which gives me 70. 70 is 7 times h. So how do I get h by itself instead of timesing by 7? You divide by 7. If you divide by 7 here, you get the height by itself, so you have to divide by 7 here. Whatever you do to one side of the equation, you have to do to the other. This is going to cancel because you're going to get 1h. 1 times h is h. Since you divide by 7 here, you divide by 7 here, and you get your height is 10. So how do you solve that? You have to get h by itself, so you do the opposite signs that you see. Instead of dividing by 2 here, you would have to multiply by 2. Instead of timesing by 7, you have to divide by 7. And so then you can check. If the height's 10 way up here, does that work? So trying a number is not a bad idea, especially if I give you a bunch of numbers to try. You could just start plugging them in and seeing which one works. You could also solve to figure out what it is. So if your height's 10, does that work way up here? Does let me rewrite that. 35. Does that equal 7 times 10 divided by 2? So 7 times 10 is 70. 70 divided by 2 would equal 35. And so that is true. So what is your height? You would call this 10 centimeters would equal your height. Do I label 10 as centimeters squared? No, because it's just a dimension. Like my base, 7, was just centimeters. So my height is just centimeters. You're just having your base and your height plugged in here. And so they're both dimensions. Now your area is centimeters squared because that's both dimensions together. Let's try another one. What if I say the area of a rectangle is 40 centimeters squared? one dimension is 8 centimeters, what is the other dimension? So you have to break this down into what you know. We're talking about area of a rectangle, so we want to do area of a rectangle. We want to use its formula, which is length times width. And then we just want to fill in blanks. Do we know the area? Do we know the length? Do we know the width? What do we know here? The area they gave us was 40, so we can put that over here under area. We know one dimension's 8, so maybe we call that our length, and so then we're looking for the width. So some people can see this. 8 times what is 40? If you don't see it, you draw the line down it. You want to get W by itself. So instead of timesing by 8, you do the opposite and divide by 8. So then you divide by 8 over here. 40 divided by 8 would give you 5 for your width. How do I label my width? I would label it just like my length was 8 centimeters. So then I would label my width 5 centimeters. And then you could check, if we put a 5 up here, does 8 times 5 equal 40? Yes, it does. So you could check that.